It's the Puck Boys Fantasy Hockey Podcast with James.
Welcome, Puck Boys.
Derek.
Quality content.
Spencer.
He's an asshole, but goddamn, I would love to meet that guy.
And Max.
All right, welcome to episode 11.
Sorry. As soon as I let it out, I was like, fuck.
Fucking Christ, it's never gonna happen.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
All right, welcome to episode 11 of the Puck Boys podcast. This is Max. I'm joined here once again by James, Spencer, and Derek. What's going on, Puck Boys?
Have a Mercedes. Well, no, I rented
Temporarily.
Yeah.
We got to drive up in the Mercedes today, which was kind of nice.
Jim rented a car for us today.
Yeah.
We're living prime real estate life now.
We should get it wrapped.
He takes
Yeah.
care of us. He really takes care of us.
Yeah, of course. It's for work, but I thought, why not? You know?
What's for dinner, James?
You tell me.
I'm not sure.
thought
I
you
would
were
like
taking
a
care of us.
shower.
Oh.
I would like a shower, but I think that's off the menu.
All right, I'll. I broke Derek's shower. I thought I was trying to fix it, and I fucked it up pretty bad.
And I only have one shower in my home.
But you know what? I wasn't the first one to break it. Okay, so it really wasn't my fault.
No, you did have help. You had help.
Yeah, I had help. Yeah. So
You totally mangled and destroyed it. But you did have help.
Doesn't
Okay,
sound
so-
like it's your fault.
Okay, so so this is the story. Alex, who lives with Derek over here, his girlfriend. Is that what we're calling her now? Okay, cool.
I would imagine so.
Sure. All right. So his girlfriend took a shower and she broke the shower, for sure. There's no question, Alex. Fuck you. Your girlfriend broke the shower. Okay.
Another episode of Puck Boys ripping on Alex. Christ.
So she broke the shower, and it's kind of weird. You know, you got to turn one nozzle one direction, the other nozzle the other direction. One's hot, one's cold. And I just went in there and thought, oh, the hot's broken. Let me just try and fix it. I'll just like manhandle it back into place. And then
James
all of a sudden,
strangled it. He put everything he had into it and totally destroyed
it just
it.
That's
kept
his go-to
twisting.
move.
It
It's
just
his
kept
go-to move.
twisting. So I fucked it. Made the process of getting a plumber
So
a little faster.
you just deflected everything onto someone else and then took the blame.
Yeah, that's how I
Pretty-
do things.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah. But hey, if you want a shower, you can come to my house anytime.
Oh, yeah, I would love to. I'll walk over tomorrow morning.
Real
Abuse
bonding.
that invitation.
Yeah.
Yeah, abuse it.
I did this because I care about Derek. I care about his health, and I want him to work out more.
Being a great motivator. I have to go to the gym to shower, so I may as well work out while I'm there.
Anyways, let's move on to, I guess, some fantasy relevant content. But sorry about that.
That's okay. I forgive you.
Let's move on to the not so current events. So a couple I want to get out of the way real quick, and then a couple I want to debate about. John Klingberg out at least 2 weeks with a lower body injury. Man, this guy sucks.
He's had a tough start, man.
Yeah, he's had a real tough start. I hope he comes back feeling a little better and maybe getting some more points because right now he sucks. Zdeno Chara hits 1,500 games. That's impressive, guys. What does Zdeno Chara mean to you guys other than, beating us in the Stanley Cup final in 2011?
It's hard because, well, Big Z is a fucking ledge. Even though I still have some bitterness with the 2011 Stanley Cup and feel a bit more hatred for guys like that, but nothing but respect because he is a fucking powerhouse. He's been doing it for how many years? He's played for multiple different teams and he's always shown up. And fuck, man, like I can't see him gonna playing for too much longer, but 1,500 games is pretty fucking incredible. I can't even imagine what the team has to fucking buy for that guy. Holy shit.
I mean, he was drafted by Milbury, wasn't he? In the Islanders. Like, that's just how long he's been around.
The Islanders, yeah.
Yeah, he's been around since the mid-90s.
yeah, Islanders, Ottawa, Boston.
That's right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
His rookie season was 97, 98.
Yeah, 97.
So that's
The year that Connor
that's
McDavid's born.
Yeah, and the one you asked, like, what was
crazy?
What was something that you'd remember for him when he broke his jaw in the Stanley Cup final last year, and he played the rest of the game and then the next game.
Yeah, no, he's incredible.
That's what happens when you're fucking an absolute monster, 6'9", 200 bucks and fucking something. He's massive.
You guys heard that thing where some of the younger guys on Boston said that he still sets the team record for every training preseason training with doing chin-ups.
Yeah.
He does more chin-ups than anybody on the team. Even the young 21-year-olds coming on, he still marks all of them, and he's 6'9".
Yeah. 6'9", 250 pounds. He's 42 years old. I mean, if you're going to be playing in the league at 42, you got to be in shape.
Oh, he'll still knock anyone in the league out cold. That guy's got a 20-foot reach. Death.
All right, moving on. One of my favorite players, maybe not the greatest guy, Evander Kane is being sued by Las Vegas Casino for $500K. What the fuck was Evander Kane thinking? He just left the casino?
Yeah. Hey, guys, I'm done now, so I'm just gonna head out.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
You
head
guys
out.
figure this money shit out on your own.
Yeah, what the fuck? So that's kind of a weird story. Evander Kane,
You remember seeing the pictures of him holding the stacks of cash up against his head?
Yeah, what the
He
fuck?
likes to gamble. Whatever, let him live. He's young. Let him live.
He doesn't give a fuck about cashing that shit in
He signed
yet.
a $50 million contract.
Next time he's back in Vegas, he's going to cash and be like, fuck it, I don't give a shit. I don't even need this.
Put it on the visa, baby. I don't give a shit.
I don't give a fuck.
How many players have had their finances negatively affected ever since the Golden Knights joined the league?
Yeah.
Probably all of them. It's a good thing Jared Stoll's out of the league.
For sure.
I can imagine the entire Columbus
man.
Blue Jackets
Mike
organization because fucking Torts loves when those guys play guilty. So it's like, we're going to Vegas. You boys go have a fucking pleasure. Go have an absolute night.
What a
I want you to
What do
feel
you
like
mean play guilty?
they want them because he wants them to come into the game feeling like they owe him something. Like they've gone out and they've done something wrong. So like, fuck, like I need to be back in his good book. So their mind is focused on the game.
Weird guy.
Dude, he's so weird. He's a dinosaur. Like, what coach wants their players to go get fucked up in Vegas the night before a game?
Well, yeah.
Team that sweeps the Lightning.
Yeah.
The thing with him, so you guys
so.
remember that whole thing, how he, when he coached Vancouver Canucks, he didn't live in Vancouver. He lived just over the border in the States.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Point Roberts.
And so-
Point Roberts.
He lived in
Point
Point Roberts.
Roberts.
I knew it. I went to his house.
Did you also take a nap there?
I tried to find him. Couldn't find him.
Why were you in his house when he was there?
The police found me. No, in all fairness, I just took pictures and walked around the area.
Made a kill room.
But
Yeah,
he
you
has
know.
a place there. So.
No, I've got a place that
With
just
the
literally
saran
just
wrap.
down the street.
So
the saran wrap.
whatever that was, moving on, he would leave the Canucks facilities midday to drive to another country to have a nap. And it became such a problem that the Canucks ownership found out about it and then put a bed into his office. So then when the next coach was hired, they shot a video of showing Willie his new digs, and they're like, there's your bed. And he's just like, what?
You sleep here now.
I think Ryan Kessler used it once, maybe twice.
Yeah, with
and
Corey
that was
Schneider's
it.
wife.
Fuck yeah. Beat me to it.
Yeah, that was an underhand.
Oh,
That's what she said.
set it up. All right, and then the last thing I want to talk about, and probably it's important, I think, for the league, is Milan Lucic got suspended for 2 games on his punch to the head of Columbus Blue Jackets winger Cole Sherwood. I don't know if our listeners have had time to take a look at this play, but this one is this. I mean,
If
a
you
lot
like-
of
if
people
you
are
like
questioning
violence,
it.
Check it out.
A lot of people are questioning, should it have been a suspension?
Yeah. He fucking rocked him. Like okay. He saw him coming. It's not like it was that he knew he was going to come and punch him, but Milan Lucic, has he been suspended in the past?
Yes.
So that's the reason why he got suspended.
Yes.
If he was not suspended in the past, I could have seen this one being a fine or maybe a 1 game.
Sure.
But he decked that guy, man. Like he went right up to him, stared him in the eyes, and fucking full force. So I'm not surprised that it's
He
a
left
suspension.
his feet as well, didn't he? He was Sherwood was
No,
looking at
not
him. He got
really.
him right.
We've got it up here.
Yeah.
I think no suspension. That's a good hockey
No,
play.
he didn't leave his feet.
This
It's
is
not
this
good
is
hockey.
hockey.
right.
Rittich was complaining about being hit in the hands the last couple games, and Lucic is the guy in the room that hears that and says, "I can't score, I can't barely skate, I can't shoot. I've got to do something." He's got to stay relevant. He's the one guy that'll take the punishment and he'll look out for his teammates. That's what you want.
You always want a guy like Lucic.
You
So
want
like
him.
I'm
Sure.
not if he was on any team that can pick up an enforcer or whatever they call them now, they're just gritty forwards. You want those fucking guys. You need those guys on your team. You need somebody who's going to stand up for your players because there are times now where you'll see like a top line, let's just call it Pettersson, Besser, and fucking Miller. Miller might be the one who's standing up for those guys, but I really doubt it. They're going to watch someone get taken down and be like, man,
oh no.
don't do that.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Don't do that.
Hey, ref, he hit him.
Don't like that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck that. Lucic.
Yeah.
Hit him.
Yeah, he was suspended once before for punching a guy in the head, Kevin Connaughton, in 2016. And so that's a very similar situation.
Yeah.
He just punched the guy right in the head. Right after the whistle was blown, And then there was the other thing that happened last year. I think it was November last year, where he went after that rookie from Tampa Bay, Matthew Joseph. Mm-hmm. And he literally followed him around the ice and then just hit him where he was nowhere near the puck and then punched him in the head. So I think the real issue here is Lucic is just punching people in the head whenever he feels like it. And there's a history here. And the league is making a choice here by telling Lucic, hey, cut it out. And that's why it's a 2-game suspension. But in terms of defending your teammates, I agree. Sherwood, what's the term? Speared or pitchforked Riddich's glove.
You don't touch the goalie. It's an unwritten rule. You don't do that.
And I'm not too against. It is a hockey play. He was standing up for his goalie. He was standing up for that kind of behavior. But what I didn't like about it was the other player, Sherwood, wasn't squared up for a punch. He wasn't squared up for anything like that. He was in a weird position, and Lucic went right for his head. And if you watch, he falls backwards, and the moment he touches the head, the moment the head touches the ice or bounces off the ice, we're dealing with concussion issues. We're dealing with more. And I guess the league is getting softer. Let's be honest, it is.
Much
way
softer.
softer.
Way softer.
But it's changing, and Lucic is a part of that old guard, and I don't think there's really anything wrong with it if he did it a better way. If you punch him in the chest.
That's what he said in the post-game interview. He said, I just won't go for the head anymore. I'll
Yeah.
punch the guy in the chest. Because it's true. If you punch someone in the chest, there's no suspension there.
Yeah.
Because basically you're just pushing them really hard.
Yeah.
He was close enough, like doing the regular hockey move where you just kind of push him up against the boards and then you
Yeah.
kind of fuck around with for a little bit. And
Yeah.
then you can punch each other in the face because eventually that happens.
Yeah.
Build up to it, lead up to it, and don't have that just surprise
Exactly.
fucking
Yeah.
punch in the face.
Way too
and
quick,
It was too quick.
and the way that he went down was pretty scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not
Steve Moore style.
I'm not for that kind of shit. I do like seeing fights. I love fights in hockey, and when people say it's disgusting, it's barbaric, it's like that's the sport.
That's the game.
That's
if you
the
don't
fucking
like it,
game.
don't play.
Yeah, I hate the cheap shots, and I hate the argument of the league is getting softer because I want to see skilled players. I don't want to see those goon guys that have now been phased out of the NHL who were, affecting these skilled players and in some cases ruining their careers. I know he wasn't a goon guy, but Scott Stevens hit on Paul Kariya. Paul Kariya was one of the most interesting talents in the history of the game. That hit negatively affected his career, and he was disgusted by the league, and he wanted nothing to do with the NHL after he retired.
That's right.
And then he's only slowly started coming back.
Yep.
So I'm all for that side of the game being phased out for more skill and entertainment. The clutch and grab stuff, I think, had to go back when it did go in 2004. And I'm okay with more goals, more fast-paced play, and less of that shit because at the end of the day, I just don't think it really belongs.
It is actually more exciting hockey now because you are seeing it is more of a finesse game. It's more exciting to see the fast skaters and big goals and shit like that. But I can easily see in the next few years that fighting will be entirely phased out of the NHL, which is something I do not want to see.
Yeah, and adding on to that, Max, like I hear your point. I just think, where do you draw the line? Like, because some of these skilled players, they're cheeky motherfuckers sometimes. Like if you're going for the
course.
goalie, you're starting. You know what I mean? Like they're cocky guys. They're really skilled. They probably they've fucked people up, defenders up a lot, and I mean they have to stand up for themselves. And I feel like a lot of them are really small. A lot of them are doing things that they know they shouldn't do, and they know now that there will be no retaliation. So where's the line?
Well, we need that new age enforcer, like the Brady Kachucks, the Matthew Kachucks.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way the league needs to go because you still want to see those guys that can just bang.
Yeah.
There's always
You
going to be a
wanna see that.
reaction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you need them like a Matthew Tkachuk, the goal between the legs the other day.
Oh,
that's
wow.
fucking wild. The OT winner, like
That's crazy.
That's mental.
Yeah.
But a guy like that who still has the skill, but he can also knock your head off. Like that's
Yeah,
like
you-
you need those
power
players in the
forward,
game.
You can
want a
still,
power forward.
yeah,
those
you can
guys.
still keep the essence of the game, and
For
you can
sure.
still defend your teammates, and you can still go by those unwritten rules without endangering someone. And I know that Sherwood's life wasn't endangered, but in a case like Bertuzzi hitting Steve Moore from behind in 2004, Steve Moore could have died. And that shit,
Exactly.
and of course, Bertuzzi got the book thrown at him, but that shit should never happen again, in my opinion. And you still do see very dangerous.
And that was
hits out
purely
there.
based on retaliation.
That
after
was
Steve
retaliation.
Moore,
Yeah.
hit
Naslund.
Naslund, which
Yeah.
was extremely fucking dirty, but we don't need to get into that because
No,
that's gone and passed.
Yeah.
Tom Bertuzzi still looks fucking great though.
He's a legend.
All right.
Great.
Let's talk about the current league right now. The New York Islanders have won 10 games in a row.
Holy shit.
Crazy, eh? If only you made a bet about the New York
I was gonna
Islanders,
say.
not
You
the
dumbass.
fucking New Jersey Devils.
Got
But
all season, boys.
there's a couple other teams that have done really well in the last 10 games. Washington is 8-1-1. They're just finding a way to win. A couple times they've come back and won games that it looked like they might lose. Boston, holy shit. Can David Pastrnak cool down already? Like,
He's unstoppable.
unstoppable. Last time we were talking about how he had 12 goals and 12 assists in 12 games. He now has 15 goals, 15 assists in 15 games. So he's keeping the pace up. Like, and he is number one currently in our fantasy league. He almost has 80 fantasy points already. That's fucking wild.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, and he's like 10 points ahead of second place. So, what a fucking guy.
He's actually a wizard. He can
yeah.
do everything.
I'm gonna kind of push in there. Vancouver Canucks. They're 6-1-3. They've only lost one game, or they've lost 4 games, but 3 of those were either in overtime or a shootout. So they've only lost 1 game in regulation in the last 10 games, which is pretty fucking awesome.
Speaking of the Canucks, aren't you glad that we picked Jared McCann over Pasternak? Pasternak went 1 pick behind McCann.
This is
That's something we don't need
I
to
know,
get
I
into.
know.
All
I
the
know.
fucking picks over the
I-
years. I always do look
It
at them.
hurts my
it
soul.
Why you gotta fuck me like
But
that?
you know what?
Hurts
We
my
got
soul.
Quinn Hughes, and Detroit passed on Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
So, and he's a Michigan boy. So, there's always gonna be that one team.
Like how
that-
we could have had Matthew Tkachuk over Yo Levy kind of stuff.
I think
Yeah.
the worst ever, though, is when
Yeah.
Boston had the 3 picks.
Yeah.
And DeBrusque was in there, but then they could have had Barzal, Besser, and Shabbat
Yeah.
right after.
I know.
Sorry.
That's a guy who's not doing super hot right now is Barzal. He doesn't seem like he's really performing, even though the Islanders
He's- He's been turning around a little.
He's been turning it around now.
Well, it's funny. Derek picked up a guy, Derek Brassard, scored 5 games in a row.
Shit.
Guess what? When I picked him up, 6th game, no goals.
Yeah, that's right.
It's the way she goes. That is the way it
Fucking way she
always
goes,
goes.
no matter what.
Always goes.
You know what he got? He had a shot and a block for half a point.
Oh yeah.
I almost dropped him same day, but he plays again
Hey,
tomorrow. so.
go
half a
Dolphins.
point's better than no points.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
that is true. Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take what I can get.
I mean, other pickups. Last week, did you guys make a pickup that was meaningful or helped your team out?
Well, I picked up Thatcher Demko with the intention of starting him because Canucks had back-to-back games. I figured that he was going to get one of them. And so I picked him up. Now, here's the thing if you're using a Yahoo League. There's a really handy, beautiful option because you don't always have time to go in and tinker with your league fully, but you can almost always go in there and there's this little lightning bolt and it says start active players, and then you can start active players for the full week. Now, I did that because I'm a busy man, live a busy life. I picked up Demko. That messes with that feature when you add a new guy to the fold. So I went back and checked because I stayed off the app for about a whole day. I went back and for some reason Ovechkin was on the bench and Demko was on the bench. They combined for 12 points. I lost the week by 10. So I lost the entire week on that. So just, if you're in these leagues, you got to stay diligent. You got to commit to it. It's a long season. If you take a day off, it really could cost the league in some cases.
And if
Make
you-
sure you're
If
giving
you make
2
the
minutes a
move,
day.
always smash this auto set button again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
Always.
Hit it 3
All
times.
the
Who
fucking
cares?
time.
Always. Yeah, that's a good point. How does it feel to be below me, Max?
Not good. Not
Good
good.
morning.
I talked I talked a lot of smack last week.
How many drinks did you buy him last night?
Enough to break your shower.
Yeah. got Jim all riled up. So I'm in last place out of the four of us right now. Doesn't feel good because it was so easily avoidable. But there I am.
Any pickups you guys made?
He hasn't really done anything just yet, but I'm pretty happy about picking up Michael Kempney. Yeah, he went from, I think I picked him up at 9%. He's at 18, 19% now, and he's just been strong.
Yeah.
He's been doing really well, and in the past couple of games that I've had him, let's take a look. He's had 5.75 points in 2 games that I've had him. Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. For a
So,
defenseman,
I
that's
almost grabbed him.
Yeah.
like I had to pick him up as soon as I could, just thinking, I'm like, well, fuck, I have to get rid of Haig. Like, Haig was actually doing not too bad, but then he was getting scratched all the fucking time. Like, this guy just put up 3 points for me without even getting any points, like a goal or assist.
Secondary stats, yeah.
Secondary stats, and so I picked up Kempney, and I'm pretty satisfied. He's like, we'll see how that goes.
And he was hurt, I think, at the beginning of the year, right? So he's only played, like, I think 8 games or maybe 9 games. So
But he's got 3 goals, 6 assists, and
yeah,
he's doing not too bad. So I'll keep him around for now.
Not bad. Pickups don't always turn out so hot, though.
yeah.
I grabbed Alexander Georgiev on Monday to add to my trio of spectacular goalies: Jimmy Howard, Semyon Varlamov, and Jonathan Quick with 12 points.
Who I fucking dropped.
Who you dropped?
Derek was trying to trade
So
for.
my goalies that day, I had Howard and Georgiev playing. I was like, fuck yeah, that's got to be 5 to 10 points. Howard, 4 goals against, 11 saves, minus 1.35.
Nice.
Georgiev bested him. 6 goals against, 24 saves, minus 0.9 only. So that was a pretty great grab. Really started my week off strong.
Shit. I had some good pickups this last week. After I couldn't say his name, Yarncroc got me 2 shorthanded goals.
Jaren
in a very nice
Cramp.
game. Yeah, Jaren Cramp.
Carly.
Yeah,
Farlip.
Cali.
Hi, I'm Farlip Firesberg.
He was a great person to pick up because, in our league, 2 shorthanded goals with 2, one
That'll
of them
never
was
happen again.
two shots, 1 hit, 1 block
you.
shot. That was 9 fantasy points, which is huge for our league. So that's pretty. I've already dropped him because Forsberg is back.
That's
now,
enough.
So it's enough.
That'll do.
You did what you needed for me, and I got rid of him. But
Now get the fuck out.
I also picked up Demko. He's just getting
Dude,
tossed
that's not
around.
a bad idea.
And I
Yeah.
picked up Demko at the beginning of the week. I think it was October 28th. He got me just under 6 fantasy points. So, moves like that can really help you out. I got for me, I had an additional 15 points. Derek got, -1. But hey, you lose some, you win some. It's name of the game.
Let's talk about Demko because he's actually a really intriguing option right now because the thing with Vancouver is clearly if you watch them play, they're on the up. It might not be this year, but going forward, they're going to be a very good team. Markstrom's a really good starting goalie. He's been playing really well this year. But Demko, when he plays, he's been fantastic. His numbers this year are great. I think he's only lost 1 of his starts. He's been fantastic every time he's played. So if you can pick him up and you see that the Canucks have, 3 games in 4 days or something like that, he's going to play one of those games and you have him there. And now later into the year, it's feasible he could take over the starting role for Vancouver, and that could be a guy going forward who's going to be a very good fantasy goalie.
I'm going to have to go ahead and disagree with the starting role. But I think you're right. He would get a lot of games.
Yeah,
He'll get games.
He'll get a decent amount of games.
If
It's a sick duo.
Markstrom goes down
It's a
at
great
any
duo,
point,
Yeah.
Demko will be a
I
really good
think
fantasy
Markstrom,
goalie.
because Markstrom's played 60 games in back-to-back seasons.
Yeah.
I think this year probably 50, 55, but he'll still be close.
And that means something to him. 60 games means a lot to
Yeah.
Markstrom. And he's made that clear.
He's
that
put,
he
he's
wants,
put the work in.
Yeah.
When he first got to Vancouver, I hated him. And now I'm a huge fan.
Well, that's because it was bittersweet. We lost Luongo.
We lost Luongo, and
Yeah.
we just lost Schneider, we just lost
Yeah.
Luongo, and then we get Markstrom, and we're a
Yeah.
fucking garbage-ass team, and then he comes in, it's like, well, I can't wait to trade you.
Yeah.
And now it's
That
like,
was-
fuck, man.
Until he's gone.
We're almost back in the same situation we were 10 years ago with Schneider and Luongo, just seeing, well, shit, what do we do with these guys?
With the
Because they're both
expansion draft-
performing.
when the expansion draft
Oh,
comes, we're not
yeah.
going to be able to protect both of those
And
guys
that's
either.
and
No
we have so
way.
many guys coming. I gotta stop saying we. Canucks have so many guys coming up in the pipeline, like
Yeah.
with DiPietro.
Yeah.
And where the have you seen Utica?
Yeah.
Holy, have they fucking lost yet? They are
No,
they were like 10-0.
I think they're top of the league. Yeah.
They were
they're
number one in
losing
the
games
league.
now because we just called up Sven Barchi
we took Sven back,
and we
yeah.
called up.
Oh, that's like my
Gaudette,
NHL team when I'm trying to win the Calder Cup, and so I put Sidney Crosby, fucking Pasternak, and all my guys down in
send you guys to the
AHL.
minors.
Hey, you guys are gonna play one last game just to win it for us, 15-2.
Yeah, and
Nice.
to provide context, Thatcher Demko, he has a 1.78 goals against average right now, and he has a .938 save percentage, which is
Nice.
fucking awesome.
Better than every goalie on my team.
Yeah, in 5 starts, he's won 4 games. So in our league, that's getting you at least 5 or 6 fantasy points every time he wins. So that's pretty fucking awesome. That's a boost. So I agree. If you can pick him up for one game, do it. Look for those back-to-backs for Vancouver. And then there's some other teams that have some really good backups. I mean, Linus Ullmark in Buffalo has been really good this year.
Jake Allen, St. Louis.
I picked him up tonight.
I know you did, because I had Bennington and I really wanted to hedge him there, and nope, you snaked him. And I feel like that's one of the things that separates kind of the average fantasy hockey players from the good ones is you play the backup goalies. Pay attention to who's starting. On the Yahoo app, there's a little great feature that's a little green check mark, and that means that guy's going to be starting. So take a look at the waivers. If you see that little green check mark next to one of the goalies for that night, and you have a dud on your roster who's not even going to play, drop him. Pick up the backup. That could be 5 points for you if he wins that game, if he's on a good team, and that could swing your week.
Yeah.
Another good source to use is Daily Faceoff.
Yeah.
I love Daily
Yes.
Faceoff because when you go on there, it'll show if they're likely to play, which they're generally right. When they're likely, it's like, okay, well, this is what the team was saying. So it'll show you your starting goalies for the night and possibly the next few days. Another thing that's really great about it is the actual line combinations to see which players are playing with who. So it's like I picked up Alex Chazon, which is going to be brutal. It's not going to work out at all. I've just wasted a pick. But he was playing with McDavid and Draisaitl on Monday, November 4th, and Wednesday, November 6th. He's fucking trash, even though...
Actually, not Wednesday, November 6th. That would be Sam Gagner.
I was going to say Sam Gagner.
Sam Gagner.
He's playing with the two big
He's
boys in
playing with the
Edmonton
big
now.
dogs tonight.
Yeah, but all I can see is another goal and an assist from McDavid and another 2 assists from Draisaitl.
Don't pick up Sam Gagner. Just don't do it.
Yeah, don't do that. Spenny, I was thinking about this. You have 2 guys that are in the top 5 of fantasy points right now in our league. And I'm just like, why aren't you at the top of the league in points?
It's still pretty dusty. I don't get it.
I mean, you're 3rd right now in fantasy points, which is, you got more points than me, so I'll concede.
That seems like that's pretty
But-
good to be 3rd in fantasy points then, and ahead of all of you fucks.
Yeah, I know, but
Yep.
like you have 2 of the top 5. It just seems like you should be higher than that. You should be in number 1. I mean,
It's because I keep rejecting his trades. He sent me one. He keeps fucking sending me trade offers with Johnny Gaudreau. I think
won't
he keeps
stop.
sending
I'll
all
never
of us
stop.
trade offers. None of us want Johnny Gaudreau.
none of us.
Some people do.
I
I
still want you to send me the trades, but I don't want them.
I told him point blank, I'm not interested in Matt Duchene, and I'm not interested in Johnny Gaudreau. So who does he send me for Carlson? Anyone have a guess?
Was it Matt Duchene?
Matt Duchene
And?
Johnny Gaudreau.
No,
Yes!
Gaudreau? Oh
So
my God! what are the
I
chances?
responded and I
I
said,
forgot about that then.
Friendship
I guess
over.
it was that electric lettuce. I did like the friendship over thing, though. It made me feel more reassured that we were still friends.
because
But
I know that you like the counter offers, and out of principle, I was not going to give you one for that.
No, I never have. The only fucking person who counter offers is Derek because
yeah.
he's
All
a good
night.
guy.
I counter offer
But
McDavid.
then you know what? Actually, I was sending out some way too big ones with Alex, and he fucking was super close to accepting it. Can't remember exactly who it was. He was like, "Dude, why'd you cancel it?"
he
I
was
was
about
gonna,
to do it.
I was gonna get Pedersen and Besser, and it was just like, wow, that would have looked good. But then I was getting rid of my boys, Duchene, Gaudreau, Makar, and there was somebody else who was like another, I think like Arvidsson. And I'm like,
yeah.
this is too much.
Yeah.
So in the morning on the SkyTrain, I sent him Duchene for Nylander, and he accepted it within seconds, and I was like, fuck, that was too fast.
Yeah. That's the worst when you send a trade offer and they just accept it. You're like, what are they?
Essentially, that trade, though, in our league, it's a 1-for-1. It's not going to make a dramatic difference.
You get the extra position out of
I
it.
just
Yes.
get a right wing out of it, and they're both guys that put up 0 burgers. And I'm gonna fucking the first night that I had Nylander, he got a goal and an assist and a shot. He got me 3.25 points, which is the worst possible amount of points you could get for those kinds of points. So I tried to flip him about 20 minutes after, and
Sent
I'm
me or Aria trade, and I I just replied, ha 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 ha, because I know you just traded for him, and I would just reject it. I was like, no.
Nobody's
I was trying to make
safe.
James
Nobody's
laugh.
safe.
And
Sometimes
You made me
I
laugh.
just
You made me laugh.
spend my times trying to make James laugh and just be happy and be friends.
so just on those guys, and we'll wrap up this episode here. Since we were talking a little bit about some fantasy strategy and for trades and stuff, I'm always thinking, since we're in a keeper league, always thinking about next year. So if you're holding on, I'm holding on to Ovechkin. Ovechkin's great. He's the best player in fantasy right now. He will eventually maybe start to decline. He's getting older. I don't want to give him up for nothing. I want to make sure that I am sustaining my high level of keepers. And guys like Besser and Pettersson, going forward for years and years, those could be guys who are your keepers for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
And you lock them in.
The day that you decide to trade Ovechkin, it's the day where you can trade down and go to win that year rather than the next year. It's like you can trade Ovechkin, the fucking head honcho, the top cheese, for a few really good players because that other person's like, I'm capitalizing on next year, whereas you're capitalizing on this year.
Yeah.
It would benefit you for the moment.
Yeah, it's too early now, but if it gets later into the year and you're holding on to, let's say, Ovechkin or someone like a Jamie Benn, someone like that, and you're out of the playoffs, trade that guy, get a pick, get a young guy, and start looking at next year. But that can be a conversation later in the season.
Yeah, you know what? I was in a very similar position as you are now in our league of record. But I was in another league with my BCIT boys back at school, and I had Ovi. I also had John Tavares, and I had Patty Kane. And in that league, we have 3 keepers, and those were my 3, which is pretty solid 3 keepers, right? I traded all 3 of those players away in a trade for Kucherov, and I think I got Pasternak and Victor Hedman. And I was going for the playoffs, right? And I was pumped that I got Kucherov because then the next season, he went and got 128 points and I won the league, right? But that was a really tough trade to trade those 3 guys. You had to take a risk. And I was in a place where I thought I was going to win that year, but I was thinking about the next year and I lost.
Yeah.
I lost.
You can only think so far ahead.
And
It's always tough to trade those big guys.
It's so tough.
Yeah,
It's
not
tough.
easy.
And
Trading you, Eichel, almost killed me.
well, yeah, and I traded you McKinnon.
Yeah, I got McKinnon, so like that.
Yeah, but I got Eichel and a pick. So that was my thought, is I'm trading 1 keeper for 2 keepers. Because I was looking at my keepers. We need 4 in our league. I had 3 I liked, and I wanted another. So, and then I took that pick, and I think I flipped that, and I got Carlson back. So I managed to up my keepers. So that's another one. If
It works out, yeah.
if you have one, let's say you have Kucherov. You have that one really good keeper, but you don't really have anyone else. Put together a deal, trade Kucherov, and get 2 keepers back. It's possible, and you could go after a young guy. And look at those teams that are stacked right now and that are number 1 in shooting, and they might have 5 or 6 guys who are keeper worthy, and they're going to be shooting for the championship that year. Trade them, your guy, and try to get some value back to help you going forward.
And like, just to add on that as well, if you draft someone and you think this is going to be my keeper now, right? And it kind of bumps one of your other guys out, trade that guy to someone else who they think that's going to be their new keeper.
Yeah.
Because that year that I made that trade, I drafted Vasilevsky.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is my goalie for the future. You know, that's my keeper. So now I have Kucherov, Vasilevsky. I'm set for a while, right? But that's what I mean. Like, when you draft and you're like, you have to make decisions. And they're hard decisions, but go for that younger player if they're really, really good.
Yeah.
And think about next year. Obviously, think about next year.
Yeah, in a keeper league, you have to never go all in on your season without having a backup plan.
Yeah.
And always be thinking about next year. Last year, I probably threw the championship thinking about this year because I didn't like the look of my team going into this year, and I wanted to still have a chance at winning and be set up for this year going forward. So always keep that in mind.
It's not working out, bud.
It's not, is it? No, it's
Worked
really
out
not.
well for me though.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks again.
We're all 2-2, and this guy's 3-1.
And I didn't even pick in the first 3 rounds, so fuck you guys.
It is true.
Oh, I can't wait till
Nice
you come
watch.
crashing down from your ivory tower. Let's finish it off there. That's it for episode 11. Once again, bless your heart for listening to the whole thing. We'll see you next time on the Puck Boys podcast.